Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is VB. Welcome to the channel. And today I want to talk about a topic that is kind of close to home for me, and I feel like is also a close topic for a lot of people, especially here in America, because we do live in kind of I don't want to sound like the fucking Joker here, but like we do live in a society where we do measure up depending on how hard we work. And if we feel like we're not working as hard as somebody else, we feel like we're going to be left behind. And so this video, if you can tell by the title, is about overworking and how that could affect you later down the line. Now, when I say overworking, I'm talking about to the point where you're putting in over 40-hour work weeks, doing multiple things at once, multiple projects, having to do probably 2 or 3 times the work compared to somebody else. And so I want people to understand how you get to these type of situations. Like, how does a person go from just working one job to doing multiple jobs and just fucking slaving away at some sort of like low income, minimum wage warehouse or fast food place or anything like that. Now, a little bit of disclaimer here. This is not going to be one of those huge breakdowns where I give you like a bunch of data analytics. A lot of this is going to be kind of just from my own perspective and what I've seen from a lot of people that I know. So when you're stuck in a low income job, like I said, it could be warehouse, fast food place, okay, maybe Menards, Home Depot. I want people to understand that you don't have to stay in these areas. You can move up. If you put in a few years at one of these locations to show that you're willing to stick it out just for a maybe 3 to 5 year sentence, like, you know, I know I'm making it sound like a prison sentence, but hey, you know, if you're stuck in these type of jobs, guess what? It feels like a prison. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, your manager's basically the warden, and the supervisor's just kind of well, you kind of know who he's gonna be. But anyway, so if you're able to stick it out for at least 3 to 5 years at one of these low income places, and you're able to put that on your resume, I feel that that type of commitment can open up a lot of doors for you. Just give you an example, okay? When I was in college, kind of like senior year to maybe my second year of college, I was working at Menards, and it was part-time for a while, and then I eventually moved up to full-time. When I was doing that, I was constantly back and forth. I would do the morning shift, open up the flooring department, take care of a couple guests, wait for management to come in. They pretty much fill up the other half of what the job needed to be done, and I would just help take care of like the carpet, loading up pallets, you know, stuff like that. Occasionally do special orders, right? And right after that, I would bring a pair of clothes with me, go over to the bathroom, change into my school type of clothes, okay? I was about to say uniform, but I don't have a uniform like that. If I did, I hate myself. I'm glad it was a community college, not a fucking university. But dress up in my school uniform, go straight to class right after work, and then I would do that for at least 3 years, back and forth. Now, eventually, the classes started to get a little bit more expensive. Okay, I needed more credits for my degree, had to take care of that somehow, but I needed more money. Fortunately, if you work at Menards or Home Depot or anything that's kind of similar to that, you're gonna get paid kind of chump change. It's not gonna really affect you unless you're able to efficiently save up all that money somehow if you're young. But if you're just kind of having a lot more bills, or you need to, say, for example, pay off a car, it is really hard to try to manage that with just maybe 12, 13 bucks an hour. So I needed to look for something else. Luckily, I was able to find a woodworking place to make drawers for closets and stuff. And they saw that I had stayed at Menards for 3 years. And it wasn't some like well-known place, okay? It was kind of just a small little operation that would actually take up orders and be able to help and provide that type of product, right? And so they were looking for people that would stay in for the long run. If they saw my resume and they saw that I only worked maybe a few months here and there in multiple odd-end jobs, pretty sure I wouldn't have gotten that position over there that paid at least like 18 or close damn near 18. If you're able to show that you're willing to stick around for a long haul, that's going to be easier time for you to get a better job, to move up in certain areas. Just to give you another example, here at the airport that I'm currently working at, I started off as just a ramp agent. Pretty decent gig, I ain't gonna lie. I got paid at least 18. Again, same thing as like not the warehouse, but like the working place. And eventually, I started to kind of prove myself over the few months. I showed them that, hey, I'm willing to help out other crews. I helped out with a few odd end pieces here and there, maybe empty out the lab truck, stuff like that, right? I was willing to take care of the job that needed to be done. And so after 4 months, I got promoted to team lead. And that's when a lot of things kind of changed for me. I got bumped up $1, so $19 an hour now, pretty decent. I started leading multiple crews, which now I'm up to 8 right now. I've led 8 crews over that time. And so after, I would say, close to a year of doing this type of work, I showed that I had some leadership skills. I showed that I was able to think on the fly, to get my teammates to kind of follow my lead, to do whatever we needed to get done. And now this brings up this girl that I work with right now. And at the time, she was just a training coordinator, saw that I had potential to actually show people what to do in the job. And eventually, she started to keep an eye on me closer. Wanted to see that I was actually capable of not just leading, but also teaching all these new employees that I'd be sending over to my crew how to do the job. And I know my way around below wing, that's what we call underneath the ramp, how to do that type of work. I know the ins and outs. I know how to get these people motivated to do said work, okay? And she noticed that. When you have somebody in a higher level, notice what you do for the company, okay? Or wherever you work. When you have somebody up there noticing you, that's when all the doors open up. That's when you get into this new level of all these possibilities. It doesn't have to be some degree, okay? It doesn't have to be a degree or certification to show that you know your stuff. The only tangible way that a person can know that you know what you're doing is if you show it, is if you're able to show that you know the steps. And now there's a few nuances to this. I ain't gonna lie, even if somebody higher up notices that you know what to do, it's not a guarantee that they'll pick you. I mean, I was competing with at least maybe 5 other POAs or team leads. And while every single company will tell you that they don't want to do any favoritism, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's some bullshit. That is some grade A bullshit. Every single company will take the person that they like the most under their wing to continue their growth and skills. Now, this girl that I work with now, I did talk to her from time to time, step into her office, just kind of chat her up. I had no intention to even try to get promoted. It just kind of happened. I was perfectly fine just sticking with being a team lead. And when it was getting tough, I ain't gonna lie, I did try to leave multiple times. Unfortunately, I didn't have the luck in finding a new job, so I just stuck with what I did. But when you have that repertoire with somebody, I know it's a big word, repertoire. Basically, if you know that person for a decent amount of time and you're able to build that trust, then that's when the doors open. That's when you're able to show that, okay, I can actually move up in this world. So if you're currently stuck in a situation where it's not working out for you, I wanted to just make this message to show that, hey, you can build yourself up. You can build yourself up from the ground up to wherever you want to be. But it's going to take some work, and it's going to take some finessing all around to get you to where you need to be. First step is to learn. You need to never stop learning. Whatever you're doing right now, whether it be in a low-end job or if you're working at some place that has a possibility of moving up, learn the ins and outs. You have nothing to lose in these situations. You have nothing to lose. I mean, if you really think about it, if you're starting at the bottom, what is there to actually stop you from growing? The second part is to build trust with somebody higher up. You don't have to be their friend. You don't have to be a person that needs to suck up to a person above you. That's not the case. What you do have to show is that you have ambition. People above you are ambitious. They're sticking around to try to move up that type of chain. And if they see somebody below them that have that same type of energy, they'll notice and they'll want you part of their team to be able to move themselves up. Kind of a help me help you type of situation. And it's not using each other. I mean, I know it sounds like you're using each other, but if it mutually benefits both of you, it's collaboration. It's not using, it's collaborating. And bonus points if you can be friends with these type of people, because that opens up more possibilities for you, even more. Don't try to be a snake either, okay? Be as honest as possible. If what you're doing lines up with another person's kind of ideas or ideals, that's great. But don't try to actually try to be fake. If it honestly works out for you, great, go for it. If it doesn't, don't even attempt. See, the thing about networking is you don't want to be fake. You don't want to just give your employer or the person above you false hope that you're actually going to do the job. When you're networking, show that you have your potential, to know that you're willing to take the time to learn and do the job. If you don't do that, nobody's gonna notice you. Nobody's gonna notice what you're able to show them. You can say that you know, but if you don't show it, then what's the point? Lastly, and this one is very important, show that you're able to handle stress. Show that you're able to handle the job you're trying to perform. Because all that knowledge, all that hard work is gonna mean nothing if you bitch, complain. It's getting to you that your mental is just getting all sorts of fucked up for doing it. Guess what? That's just a recipe for disaster. If you get that type of position and you aren't able to handle it, you're causing yourself more pain. You should have just stayed where you were at. So, ways that you can go about it is, even if you have the knowledge to do what you are trying to build yourself up to do, learn how to manage it. Learn how to plan and to efficiently get yourself mentally to handle all the load that's going to be placed upon you. If you can't, don't try to move up just yet. And honestly, who knows? Maybe you'll get that position and you haven't practiced or nothing to get yourself to that point, and then they thrust you into it and you're able to deal with it pretty well. That's a rare occurrence, but it's possible. But I would say about 8 times out of 10, that doesn't work out too well. Practice some methods. Practice some methods to keep you calm, cooled, collected, then attempt to move up. But hey, that's just my way of going about things. That's just how that kind of worked for me. I'm currently in a little bit of a vacation right now. Took a week off after a year and a half of non-stop, without taking any sick days, work. So I'm gonna try to make a couple more videos just to clear up my head. Kind of therapy for me. This is that. If I had to describe what this type of channel is, it's more or less just a therapy session for me after all the BS that I've been through. And hopefully you can get some sort of message out of it. So, like I said, gonna be here all week. Thank you for watching. I don't have to go to work, and I will see you on the next one. Take it easy.